Having one of those weird seeds, huh, Wimpy?
Beware
The words?
contagious words. Those who dream.
Those who dream?
Hold a moment. There is a strange new sensation in my mind.
And a bigger text box than normal.
It is not quizzical.
What's going on?
What the hell is going on? Blizzard's body shuddered as he slowly opened his
Perhaps
eyes.
we should start by asking this man.
Who are you?
We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help.
Am I reading a novel now?
If you can speak to me. I must have caught you in my dream.
In your dream?
The mayor explained. The past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Death Dream spread across the forests of myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. The village mayor had determined that the Death Dream was spread from poison person to person by spoken words. Before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. Text box keeps getting bigger. What is this game? Weiss stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching slightly.
Now see here.
He said,
Are you saying that we have been absorbed into your dream?
Well, yes.
said the
I
mayor.
think you have.
In other words, we've caught the death dream?
Before the mayor confirmed my suspicion, Weiss exploded with rage.
Ridiculous. Preposterous. Completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep.
In a book, fall asleep?
That's just how the death dream works.
Jeez. Though polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's remarks.
My remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace, then quickly changed the subject to who I'd seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village.
Something there must have caused you to enter my dream. A certain conversation, a specific word, something.
We racked our brains, but we could not find no easy solutions. There were simply too many words to consider. Too much random chatter, too many meaningless conversations.
Weiss does not engage in meaningless conversations.
I'm just breaking the fourth wall right now. The mere suggestion that Weiss could chose his words carefully seemed to sting his pride.
It does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator. It has demolished it utterly.
Irritated, Weiss looked scoured as if searching for an answer in the
I
heavens.
was doing no such thing. Just leave me alone already.
The anger created by his harsh words bled over me like a contagion. Wait, I said suddenly. Did someone just say contagion? Yes, I believe so. What of it? Well, that villager told us to watch out for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with renewed interest, pushing a startled Weiss aside in the process. He must have said something, right? Asked the mayor. Some specific combination of words. What was it? It was about dreaming or something that dreams, or what the hell was it? A sheep, cried Weiss, blurting out the first thing that popped into his head. They stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few more minutes of thought, his face suddenly lit up. Remember, said, "Those who dream." That's what he said. I'm sure of it. At this point, the mayor produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times before finally nodding his approval to me. That sounds right, he said, as a stray sheet of paper floated to the ground. My notes also mentioned something about that. It was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep. The mayor shook his head, his worn pencil stub tracing lines across a lone piece of paper. Last month I've done nothing but study a disease we call the dream death, or death dream. I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect people from whatever comes along, but I never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams. The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. I should probably be taking notes or something. Vice immediately fired back. I applaud the force of will it takes to research the disease in your dreams, he said, but perhaps we should bend your efforts to escaping this place instead of trying to understand it. The mayor's hand tightened around his pencil, snapping off the tip. I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized I was locked inside my own dream. I've been looking for a way out, but I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? If there was an exit, I don't know about it. He paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said to no one in particular, and it was filled with the most wonderful people he could ever hope to meet. Once the disease took hold, things changed. Like someone took a sponge and sucked all the color out of our lives. I want us to be whole again. I want us to be free. And I won't stop trying until it happens. I nodded in agreement. Oh, wait a second. I didn't nod. Look, if we can be of any help, just ask. Now hold on, I did not just say that. Silence, cried Vice. The Grimoire looked from me to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. Grimoire Vice's face is very confident. Thank you very much. Now see here, Mayor, you told us that nothing can exist in this dream without you knowing of it. But yet you seemed surprised to see us when we first arrived, yes? The Mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawned on his face. Oh my god, he said, you're right. I had no idea you were coming. The human imagination is a limitless engine, said Vice. And dreams are the fuel. If you can imagine exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out. Thank you, said the mayor. I don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We're as eager as you to be done with this place. The mayor suddenly felt as if he could breathe again. He'd almost forgotten what it was like. Good luck, you two. He called the departing forms of me and Weiss. We're all counting on you. Played into the misty forest, the mayor was struck by a sense of deja vu. I saw this man once before, he thought, but where? Mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, the beauty of the place was still a new thing. He'd been confident they could get in, find the exit, and be home in time for dinner. The deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around him. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction, and moss-covered rock seemed determined to twist his ankle. More than once he'd been forced to steady himself on the rock of a barren tree, or rough bark of a tree. His hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Vice was proving to be a spectacularly poor traveling companion. Unhindered by either terrain or physical effort, he spent most of his time urging Timmy G to pick up the pace and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Vice muttered something about legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, Timmy G snapped. Okay, Vice, cram it for a second, would you? You don't have to walk. Timmy G leaned against a tree, and tried to stretch the knots out of his back. Can the stupid forest be so big, he muttered to himself. The moment the word stumbled from his mouth, a cacophony of insects sprang to life. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared at the volume that rattled his teeth. Timmy G slapped his hands over his ears and screamed to be heard, Vice, what's going on? Timmy G could not see Vice's mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting in a tornado. The insects screamed, the forest howled, and then, just as Timmy G's ears seemed ready to tear off from his head, going in for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed the hand from his left ear and listened for the creatures of the woods. Zree, 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 zree. Shakak, shakak, kakaka, shakakaka. Ch-ch-chi, ch-ch-chi, ch-ch-chi. Woo-woo-ma, woo-woo-woo-ma, woo-woo-woo-ma. As the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, Timmy G began to detect patterns of the sound. This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise, it's something else. The insects weren't just calling out, they were asking a question. 1, with it is lacking. 2, with it is ideal. 3, with it is dangerous. What is it? But by my pages, this is a riddle. I guess so. I mean, it feels sort of forced, That means the key to getting out of this place. And I leave it to you to answer. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? The answer is a secret. It is a seesaw. How should I know? Something that's ideal with 2 people, but dangerous with 3. Oh, it's a seesaw. Weiss's mouth flew open. Before he could say anything, the world suddenly shifted. Reen reen wah, shik shik key, shik shik key. When Timmy G came to, he was once again surrounded by the sound of insects. Present instincts were creating words he had heard somewhere before. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? I guess so. I mean, it kind of feels... I must have gotten it wrong. Secret? Secret. Right? Rippling wave opening in a new path. These forest arthropods are making a road for us, said Weiss, with glee. Pleased at passing the test, Timmy G moved on with new intensity. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth, but gave even greater cheer to his mind. As long as they were on a path, their journeys had a purpose. Part just keeps going on and on. I guess the forest has accepted us, huh? Said Timmy G after a bit. Weiss spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the will of the forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. You have no idea where this path leads. As Weiss finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring. Smiling, Timmy G picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water. Good heavens, said Weiss. Surprised but understandable, each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring, the ripples that left behind came together to form words. I enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Well, I know that one. Light. Absurdly easy, barks Weiss. Now answer it. Timmy G grit his teeth and tried not to reach out and strangle his companion. He's right after all. This one is pretty easy. Sunlight. A plume of water suddenly burst from the spring. Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected off the plume, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. Part of me wanted to answer that one wrong. Excuse me. In all my years, said Weiss softly, I've never seen such a sight. Perhaps I have misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey look, cried Timmy G, awakening Weiss from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Weiss' small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Weiss? Weiss, I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? A hermit trying to get away from people? Timmy G walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Began Timmy G before he could get any further. The cloaked man held up a hand and began speaking. I have 4... Okay, this is literally stealing it from The Hobbit. I have 4 legs in the morning, 2 at night, but end the night with 3. What am I? Timmy G tried to ask the cloaked man who he was and was doing there, but he simply repeated the question. Wish to engage this man in conversation, said Weiss. It seems we must answer his riddle. Yeah, I suppose, said Timmy G. At least it's an easy one. A man. The mist dissolved from the cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. Correct. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. You're the mayor, cried Timmy G. The small man slowly shook his head. I am not the mayor you know, now listen to my words. Long ago, I saw a vision of you that was not yourself. Sorry, what's that mean? Will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the death dream. You must go to the person at the forest entrance. With that, the man turned on his heel and slammed the door behind him. As Timmy G watched, mist steeped up from the ground and enveloped the cottage, erasing it from existence. When Timmy G and Vice returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught a sight of the duo, he sprang up to his feet and scrambled over to them. Good gravy! Oh god, your hammer's on PED? That's terrible, Wimpy. You made it. You actually made it back. His left hand grasped Timmy G's and pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge it from the socket, while his right seized Weiss by the cover and swung him through the air. Gah! By the heavens, stop shaking me, fool. I've not even told you if we were successful or not. The mayor smiled broadly and shook his head. Happy that you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Timmy G withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. We broke the death dream seal, he said. At least I think we did. The mayor's face beamed as Timmy G filled him on the details. The tale was done. The three of them laid down on the forest ground and fell asleep. Timmy G cocked his head. Okay, hang on a second. This is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? Cease your endless prattle and go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of this place is futility itself. Timmy G and the mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. If you've forgotten, continued Vice, it is the words that control the death dream, words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. Once we do, the story will continue. With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breaths slowing. The first time, began the mayor, the first time I have felt tired since I was imprisoned here. We were cut off by a loud, long yawn, and he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour or a year. When they awoke, things had a slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear they had awakened from their long dream. Hey, it's going back to normal. Good news, he said. I think we made it. Oh wow, said the mayor with an odd voice. We did. I'm back. He blinked once and then again, not quite believing the sight before him. You have no idea how much this means. The death dream was spreading through our village, and I wanted to, well, thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and become trapped in my own dream. The mayor started to stand, then collapsed back to the earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they worked, then glanced at Timmy G and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to, he said the mayor as a wry smile crossed his lips. You shall relearn in short order, I am sure, said Vice. For now, you should return to your home and rest. No, said the mayor, swaying his feet under his unsteady feet. No, I can't. Some of the villagers are still trapped in the death dream. I have to save them. The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree at the center of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. This is the holy tree. I explained when the prayer was finished. It's the guardian of our village history and memories. Superstition will make our mission harder, muttered Vice. We should not put our faith in the gods. The mayor shook his head. Not the gods, the words. Legend says that our tree is home to a powerful magic known as a sealed verse. Timmy G and Vice could not contain their surprise. It seemed gold had been found in the most unexpected of places. I hope you find your hammer soon, Wimpy. I say, muttered Vice, this is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, Timmy G mentioned the strange man had given them the third riddle and the mysterious words he had left with them. I once saw a vision of you that was not yourself, muttered the mayor. What in the world does that mean? Lost in thought, he stared into space for a long moment. You know, he said softly, this is going to sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before too. He tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, fears are some kind of illusion created by the death dream. Probably doesn't mean anything. Timmy G gave the mayor a nod and a smile, but inwardly his thoughts were racing. There was something wrong about the mayor and his words. What exactly is going on here? The riddle will prove to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh, thank you so much.
Good, I can stop talking as much.
Now I can finally return to a normal life.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
The dark execution magic.
For a sealed verse, that didn't take much effort.
Says you.
Yes, all a touch too easy if you ask me. It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village.
Don't overthink advice.
Yay, hookshot and boots. Let's not do that again. Strength capsule.
This person must be dreaming too.
It would appear that way, yes.
Can't say I'm very
Well,
excited to go back.
Let's see what happens.
That dream world sort of creeps me.
Perhaps you should spend less time complaining.
Yeah.
I breathe air scented with death and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My box, my prison, I tucked beneath the stairway in a long, unused catacombs of Infinite Castle. Outside I hear the sounds of a funeral dirge that plays without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes. Eternally slips by in a single tick of the clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Anyone there? I hear an unfamiliar voice say. My savior! I call at the door of my jail, embedding thick splinters under my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Sure, this is the product of my addled mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of all gods, help me. Impossibly, I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. This door slowly creaks open. I have just enough time to see a silver-haired boy and a floating book before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to blackness, explode with pain. I am forced to turn away. I see the light, and it burns. Who are you? I ask, shaking hands covering my face. How have you come into this place? I am Grimoire Weiss. This is Timmy G. Long have you been searching for you. Now come, stand. We shall awaken you from this nightmare. Together. The one known as Timmy G extends his hand and pulls me from the cell. Though my eyes are slow to adjust to freedom, my ears are keen as ever. They recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. I never thought to hear that again, I whisper. Would that this were not such a terrible storm, said Grimoire Weiss. Look at your feet. I force my eyes open and see water pooling around my ankles and lapping at my shins. There's so much of it. Yes, and more comes every moment we delay. If we do not make good our escape, we shall all drown in this castle. We know you are weak, but your only hope to survive this place. Time, that long-forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers no matter the cost. The castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. I squint down in the dim corridors and proceed north. Proceed north, north. Come on. Oh. At the end of the corridor, I found a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds resting atop a carpet of velvet, all covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door in the next room, I come upon the shapeless mass of gray matter. It's been shoved against the side of a wall. Despite my fever, I think it is see the outside of a door just beyond. I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass. It turns to dust and drifts away from the wind. Resistance slowly dawns and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses. I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. I look from it to the beds and back in, and the horror dawns full upon me. Someone has piled the bodies into a tower and set them ablaze. Bombs! Fun, Wimpy. Whether they are alive or dead, I do not know, and sanity will not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound. Whether scream or laughter, I cannot be certain. And my mind grants me merciful blackness. I found myself opening the door and leaving that most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed east. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. And proceed west. At the end of the path, petty wooden casks lie on the side of their sides in the dark chamber. Doubtless they are filled with wine. My thirst roars to life. I cannot remember the last time my parched throat had relief. I scrambled the first cask and pulled frantically at the cork. That the few cups means nothing, I tell myself. The cask will be ruined by the flood regardless. Finally, the cork surrenders to my attack, and a thick red liquid bursts from the hole. It's blood. This is... Yep! Yep! This is no wine. It is blood still warm from the body. Whether animal or something else, I cannot say. The fall liquid soon mixes with the rising floodwaters, creating a warmth that laps against my thighs. By all the gods, are the rest of these casks filled with blood as well? I lack the courage to confirm my suspicion. Disgust quickly becomes fear as I turn to flee. My weakened legs betrayed me, sending me topping over into the red ocean below. The smell of death is everywhere and threatens to consume me. I must escape this hell. Crawling on all fours like an animal, holding back screams lest any foulness enter my mouth. Lurch forward through the red waters and out of the room to freedom. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed east. North. Into the path. The waters rise to my waist, exhausting me both physically and spiritually. I pray that this is the way out. Eventually I can stand the sight of the waters no longer, so I turn my eyes upward. Imagine my surprise when I see a series of paintings hanging on the faded plaster wall. Each depicts a person in the prime of life, clad in clothing of the highest quality. The styles, however, are strange to me, leading me to believe that these people had lived long ago. One subject wears an outfit that particularly catches my eye. It's constructed of a thin, breezy cloth and decorated with a motif of flowers and birds. While encircling the figure's waist is a leather belt, the most perfect constructions. It is a stunning costume, even by modern standards. As I gaze at the portrait, I am struck by a desire to touch it with my own hands. Yet as I extend a single finger to the painting, I am gripped by the most unpleasant feeling. Staring closely at the image, I see it bend and warp into the shape of another finger. Something behind the picture is pointing at me. Is it another prisoner? A fellow inmate trapped for eternity in this place? I cannot let it pass, and so I seize the portrait with both hands and throw it in the water. The wall is hollow behind the painting, and inside I can just make out a body. Whether or not this is a prisoner, there would be no rescue. The poor soul is long dead. Scraps of clothing lie on the floor around the bones. Only a small amount of the fabric has survived. It features the same delicate designs that were depicted in the portrait. I have been admiring a row of corpses blocked from view by portraits of each victim at their pinnacle. Enough, shielding my eyes, I paddle forward through the water. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed south. South again. West. The water is into my chin and now laps greedily at my mouth and nose. You dumb bast, shouts Timmy G as he suddenly desires to say more. The rest of the insult is cut short by the rising water. Grimoire Vice, wet and tattered, floats on the water's surface. It is already too late for him. This wasn't how it was supposed to end. Game over. Really? Really?
This person
It's
can't.
perhaps.
Yeah.
Proceed north. Proceed east. Proceed north. Proceed north. Got this one last time. South. West. East. This is new. I find myself in a great hall with only sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. As there I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rests china and silver of the finest construction as well as remains of a fantastic feast. My eyes continue to adjust. I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the chair at the table's head, but the truth of the matter dawns on me. I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse. All are the invited guests. An army of foul, wriggling insects have made homes in their remains. This is the moment I saw. The one splitting the feast is now nothing more than the requiem for the damned. I want to steady my shaking hands and slowly back away from the table. Just to lose sight of this abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chairs upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs prove to be even more terrible than the feast itself. They're made of bones. Oh. Each seat is covered in a layer of spikes that run from the seat up the back and down the arms. This explains the color of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate diners were dead when the meal began. Or if not, it's a simple task to envision the agonized screams that they must have sprung forth from their mouths. Mine grasped frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which this was punishment. Though in truth, I suspect they had committed no crime at all. There would be a tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. North. Ah, this part's annoying. Hammer in the back of pod, huh?
This person
It's
can't.
perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, I'm finishing this. I want to do something here. I need a piece of paper. I have any piece of paper. North? Wow, that's... Against all hope, we make it to the front door. Break it down, someone cries, and so I give myself to the effort. Tanned with Timmy G and Grimoire of Vice, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. The triad gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled on the ground outside the castle. The storm is in retreat, the clouds above are still dark and foreboding, but to the west I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. How can I thank you, as I cry, tears of joy on my cheeks? I truly have died in there. Looking down, I suddenly notice that my dress is in tatters, and sheepishly try to cover my exposed skin. Your dress, asked Vice. Then you are a woman, madame. I am? I proffered the two a smile. I suppose that comes as something of surprise, seeing how I exist only in the form of words. I can see that the one known as Timmy G is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well. With a nod on his shrug, the three of us set forth to our awakening. Behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls inside their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. We watch uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. The castle's dead and awakened to their new life as shades.
You have anything to say about that?
Hopefully there will be no labyrinth next time.
I hear that.
I was one away last time. Yay, go mode.
And another victim. This work certainly is trying.
Now let's see what this one is.
You would be into all this word stuff.
Even I have my exceptions. Now let's be off.
A colony of massive sculptures was visible in the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Dice and Timmy G had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widened as they tried to take it in.
Those buildings must be huge if we can see them from this far away.
Hey, there's talking this time.
What do you think, Vice?
As Vice considered his answer, the sun beat down on them with renewed ferocity.
Perhaps they are some manner of mirage.
Said. Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. Timmy G nodded and wiped the sweat off his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. He thought he'd never been so thirsty. Blah 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 blah. The ancient road on which they walked was black and cracked with age. Here and there, a thin wisp of grass pushed up through the rocky surface, as if defying those who had laid this material down over their home. Heat reflecting from the road made Timmy G lightheaded. His feet hurting, he crouched down to rest. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Is someone playing a joke on us or what? The complaint had already begun. Weiss tried not to let his eyes roll too much. A joke, he said? No, no joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. You don't sound very sure of yourself there. Perhaps not, but thinking of this in this way might make it easier for you to bear. Timmy G glanced at Vice's grimming face, shook his head, and resumed walking. As time passed, Timmy G's feet grew more painful and his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. We're definitely getting closer, said Vice, in an effort to cheer his companion. Yes, this much is certain. Encouraged, Timmy G lifted his gaze. Suddenly he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide open, his finger pointed in that direction. Water, he cried. It's water. The mirage. Water, replied Vice. Preposterous. I don't see any water. Over there, just ahead of us. Look, the sun is reflecting off of it. Without waiting for a response, Timmy G sprang to life and bounded towards the site. These games are both published by Square Enix. It might be in that. There was no water. There was nothing but sand in every direction. Timmy G closed his eyes and sighed as Vice floated up behind him and chucked softly. Yep, that'd probably be why. I believe this is known as a mirage, you said. Many a desert traveler has spoken of such things. Timmy G shook his head, bewildered, suddenly pointed off in distance, his eyes wide once more. Wait, there it is. I just missed it. Look, it's right there. Another mirage. Could have sworn it was right here. Confused, he put his hands up to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As he stopped, he noticed a blue, shimmering pool of clear water just over the next rise. With a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour until the exasperated Vice finally floated up to Timmy G and struck him with the face with his cover. Enough of your blithering, idiot. Stop this at once. There is no water here. Timmy G's face clouded. There isn't? There is not, and perhaps next time you will listen to me when I tell you as much. Vice paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone. However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems that we have arrived in the city of art. Timmy G looked up. Stretched up before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. They're huge, cried Timmy G, completely forgetting the heat and pain of the past few hours. Never seen anything so big. Each sculpture was formed from roughly the same shape, a tall rectangle that stretched up towards the sky. But that is where the similarities ended. Most were covered with panes of glass that reflected light in 1,000 directions. Others seemed to be nothing but framed of steel. It's an abandoned city. Some had tall spires on their tops, while others possessed triangular caps. What kind of city is this? Said Timmy G. Where are the people? Where are the houses? Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use. The debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Great iron crates with wheels sat silent steel rails. Beautifully carved works with lights of red, amber, and green dangled over every street. They moved away from the massive sculptures. They found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick. Many were composed of materials they had never encountered. The sheer variety of colors and styles was staggering. Unable to find a theme or purpose to the abstract works around them, Timmy G and Vice suddenly fell silent. Eventually, on the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. Timmy G added a slight relief as he approached them. Finally, I was getting tired of modern art. The 3 statues were indistinguishable except for a single word chiseled in their right arms. One read Alpha, one read Beta, and the final one read Gamma. As Timmy G moved to touch the nearest statue, a bird flew from the top of one of the sculptures. Alighting on the statue's shoulder, it emitted a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. Only one is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies. Oh, I hate this riddle. That the bird departed as if on cue. The 3 statues stood into life, acquiring color and form as they began to breathe. Hey, look at that, said Timmy G. They're alive. Triplets bowed low before Timmy G. Please, said Alpha. You have to get me out of this nightmare. I am real. Stop lying, said Beta. He turned to Timmy G and threw his hands in the air. Alpha's a fake. You know I'm the real one. Little crap, said Gamma. Beta is fake. Everyone knows I'm...
It would seem
Yeah,
we'd best act more...
this is the worst job.
Couldn't let me read them back again.
This works.
I figured a book like you...
Even I...
Didn't get a game over from that one. liars. The situation for Beta is calling Alpha liar. Made the two of the statues telling the truth. Finally, let us assume that Beta is telling the truth. If so, Alpha and Gamma's lies would make sense. Therefore, Beta must be real. I should have thought. Well, I would have figured that out if I could have go back and read them again. As Vice finished his explanation, Alpha and Gamma crumbled silently into dust while Beta sprang to life once more. Congratulations, villager, said Vice in a cheerful voice. Time to awaken has arrived. Thank you for saving me, cried the villager. He dropped to his knees and bowed his head as low as it could go before an uncomfortable Timmy G pulled him up to his feet. Why do you have to dream like this? Asked Vice. Have you been to this city before? The villager slowly looked around at the bizarre objects and sculptures that dotted the landscape and then shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's impossible, right? There's no way I could have ever been to a place like this. At the same time, I feel like I've seen it before. Deja vu, muttered Timmy G, just like the mayor. The vague sense of unease that struck Timmy G during the mayor's dream spread once more through his mind.
That was rough.
I am positive I have seen that place before.
Okay, that's enough. Don't need you getting all weird on me too. Okay, there. Now all the villagers can wake up, right?
Yes, if the mayor's assumption was correct. I think I have had enough wordplay to last a lifetime. Thank you very much.
You're telling me. Anyway, let's go see the mayor.
Anyway, let's go save before something weird happens and I have to do that again. First, break box.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you so much. Here, I have something for you.
Something for me, yay! One-handed sword, faith.
Wow, this looks valuable. I can really have it?
Of course. It's apparently a weapon of some renown, but we have little use for it.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you again for everything.
Okay, we'll use faith. I'll make awesome food for Timmy G. I better start working on a new secret recipe.
So how was the village?
Oh, it was truly magnificent. There are no words. Really.
Did you just make a pun?
Neat.
Let's get back to Popola. She'll probably want to know what's going on in there.
If that guy died. Let's get on Mr. Boar. Whatever. Let's go up and talk to Poplia. Popula. However you say her name.
death dream certainly is a strange illness.
It boggles the
Yeah,
mind.
It was something, all right.
Even I, with my natural love for words, have no desire to visit that place ever again.
You guys did well. You've been making a lot of long trips lately. Are you sure you're not pushing yourself too hard?
Probably, but I don't care.
I'm okay. I can't just sit around all day while Yona's sick, after all.
If you say so.
So, anything I can do for you?
Well, I suppose there is one thing I could use a hand with. Have you heard about our plans to repair the canal? The work probably won't happen for a while, but once it's done, we can use the canal for trade and travel and all kinds of useful things. Unfortunately, however, we're a bit behind schedule at the moment.
That mean there's going to be a time skip?
If you're willing to help out, I'd really appreciate it.
No problem. What do you need?
Great. So, the man I originally asked to help on this project hasn't shown up for work in a few days.
Oh, he's dead.
I'm starting to get a little worried. So, maybe you can head over to Seafront and check up on him? I'll mark the location of his house on your map. He always carries a red bag over his shoulder, so he should be easy enough to find.
Got it.
A canal, is it? Fascinating. If we had a ferry, we could put these days of endlessly running about behind us.
Don't you just float everywhere anyway?
Do you think I am...
Huge cake that was really yummy, and everyone in the village has been wishing me happy birthday. Fun, I feel like a princess or something. I don't feel sick at all today. In fact, I almost forgot I had this disease, so maybe you can forget about it too and come back home now.
Blown aloft by the winds, lad. It takes stamina to maintain this height.
Oh, really?
You could at least try to hide the utter dismay, you know.
Is it dead? I don't know. It doesn't say. I assume it's dead, because the other one looks green.
I'm ready to make that...
Oh, you gotta save still? Okay, then. Let's go to Seafront again, then, shall we? Oh, shiny thing. First shiny thing, though. Get out of the way, chicken. Another shiny thing. Let's pick up the shiny thing. Big guy over here. Let's see if I can fight big guy now. I don't die in one hit now. Good. I die in 3. Come on. There, he's dead. Costs a lot of medicinal herbs, but he's dead. Sure, that thing had deer antlers. We're about to charge me. I had to do it. Good. I need some more of them. Thought I saw something there. I saw things that weren't really there. What are you doing, Kaine? Bounty fertilizer. If I could just buy a weed, I'm gonna do it.
Care for some important. Thanks for your business.
You have a quest. Oh, because you're the actual guy I'm supposed to find.
Hey, are you the guy who's supposed to help repair the canal? Popola sent me to...
Oh god, it's over. My life is over.
Surely you must realize nothing good can come of being involved with this particular endeavor.
Easy, Vice. Hey, so, are you alright? What happened?
It's my wife. She left home a week ago and hasn't come back. I'm so worried I can't even focus on my work. Oh, my sweet dumpling, where are you?
Wow, that's terrible. Would you like us to help you look for her?
Really? You do that for me?
Sure. But do you have any idea where we should
That
start?
house full of spiders just outside of town?
Well, she always used to enjoy drinking at the tavern with her friends.
Alright, then I guess we'll start with them.
Thank you. This means the world to me. Oh, and by the way,
I've met some odd couples in my day, but none who felt the need to wander about flaunting matching luggage.
You need to get with the times. Coordinated outfits are all the rage. Plus,
All
these
the
bags are
rage.
special. We bought them for our anniversary. But now my sweet dumpling is gone. And it's all my fault. Oh, God.
Okay, just stay calm.
I'm willing to bet that man knows more about his wife absconding than he's letting on.
I saw a shiny thing all the way down here. Driftwood.
Welcome. Hope you come back.
We've got fresh.
Ooh, that stuff's expensive.
See you later.
We got the latest. Hope to see.
What do you got?
My weapons, man. Thank you much.
If you're ready to get, come back.
Look, the tavern's down here, you idiot.
Hey there, I'm looking for a woman carrying a red bag.
Are you now? Interesting.
With
Did
3 eyes.
something happen to her?
She hasn't been home and her husband's worried. Do you know anything about where she might be?
Trouble in paradise, is it? Oh, those two never change. Anyway, the short answer is no. She hasn't been around here either. Though come to think of it, she always got on well with the woman over at the tackle shop. Maybe you should try her?
I'll do that. Thanks.
Hey, what's the rush? You've got a cute face. Why not sit here and join me for a round? Or 3?
Sorry, ma'am, but I'm not old enough to drink.
Cougar. Totally a cougar. And where are you gonna send me? Where do I go next to check?
Do you know a woman with a red bag by any chance?
Amber who?
A red bag? Oh, sure. Although now that I think about it, I haven't seen her in a while. Last time she came around, she mentioned something about leaving town, but I figured it was just idle talk.
Leaving town, huh? Alright, thanks for your time.
If she has truly left this charming hamlet, finding her may prove most difficult indeed.
I just hope she hasn't been attacked by shades or anything.
What is it this time, cutie? You change your mind about that drink? I'm buying.
I don't know.
Still a minor, ma'am.
I know the guy that's voicing your character is the same guy that voices Tanjiro in Demon Slayer. I guess he gets typecast for playing people that try to do stuff for their save their sisters.
Hey, are you the kid who ran away from home?
Hey, I found the kid.
Huh? Oh man, how'd you?
Your father's worried sick about you. Why'd you leave anyway?
Because he wants me to, like, take up the family business. And I ain't doing it, man. I'm a rebel.
I'm a rebel.
Yes, we can see that. Well, perhaps you should let your father know that you're alive and well, and also explain to him why you left.
Yeah, and Laura Bailey's already in this game as a different character, so.
Oh man, why do people always gotta hassle me? Yeah, alright, I'll do it. But first, you gotta do something for me, man.
Yeah, man, what you need me to do, man?
The guy who runs the tavern's been helping me since I got here, and I want to give him something nice. I was thinking I could, like, cook dinner or something, but I don't have any ingredients or whatever, so yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If it'll get you back home to your father sooner, then fine.
This guy, man, he don't eat nothing but fish all the time, every day. Fish, fish, fish. So I was thinking he might, like, want to try eating meat or whatever. You know,
Pretty much, yeah.
for a change.
She's like main character voice actress.
So could you get me, like, 5 pieces of mutton and 3 pieces
I don't have enough
of
mutton.
goat meat?
I have the goat meat, but I need more
can find
mutton.
the pans and spoons and stuff, so just bring the meat to his place whenever, man.
Plenty of goat meat, not enough mutton. But I think that's a good place to cut it for the night.